Some claim the story of Jesus' birth is just another pagan myth, like Greek gods visiting women or Roman emperors claiming divine origins. But when you look closely at Matthew 1-2 and Luke 1-2, the differences are striking. Hello, I'm Dr. David Pendergrass. If you like this video, you're going to love my books and a workbook on Christianity in its ancient context. I'll explain how to get them and why you may find them valuable at the end of this video. In many pagan myths, a god or godlike figure has sex with a woman. The result is a semi-divine hero or emperor. The stories are not tied carefully to real historical rulers. Think about Zeus in Greek mythology. He seduces or assaults women in various forms. Or the stories about Augustus in the Roman world, where omens or divine conceptions are used to glorify the emperor. Now compare that to the New Testament. In Matthew 1:18, it says, "Now the birth of Jesus Christ happened this way. While his mother Mary was engaged to Joseph, but before they came together, she was found to be pregnant through the Holy Spirit." A few key points really stand out here. Matthew explicitly says this is before they came together. It means they didn't have sex. The conception of Jesus is attributed to the Holy Spirit with no hint of sexual union. Joseph is told in a dream, quote, "What is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit," Matthew 1:20. Joseph then refrains from sexual relations until after the birth, Matthew 1:25. In Luke 1:34-35, Mary asks, "How will this be since I have not had sexual relations with the man?" Gabriel answers, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you." This language deliberately avoids describing a physical or sexual act. It echoes the Old Testament presence of God, the Spirit hovering over the waters in Genesis 1:2, the glory of God overshadowing the tabernacle in Exodus 40, verse 35. This child is called holy and Son of God, not because of a divine sexual act, but because of God's direct creative action. There's also a Jewish setting. Everything is rooted in Israel's scriptures. The virgin conception is linked to Isaiah 7:14. The virgin will conceive and bear a son, the Greek translation, the Septuagint, and Matthew 1:23. This focus is on Davidic kingship, forgiveness of sins, God's covenant mercy. The Gospels also anchor Jesus' birth in verifiable history. They name Herod, Kaiser Augustus, Quirinius, Bethlehem, Nazareth. Luke dates events by rulers and regions. These are not once upon a time in a faraway land myths. And finally, the ethics of the story are very different. Pagan divine human unions involve lust, trickery, coercion. In the Gospels, Mary responds with faith. "Let it be to me according to your word," Luke 1:38. Joseph responds with obedient righteousness, taking Mary as his wife and protecting her and the child, Matthew 1:24 and 2:13. So instead of imitating pagan myths, the birth narratives guard God's holiness, affirm Mary's purity, emphasize God's initiative without divine sexuality. They root everything in Israel's story and in real-world history. The result is not another pagan legend. It's the claim that the one true God has entered his own creation, not by sex, not by violence, but by the Word becoming flesh, through the Spirit's power and a young woman's consent. If you're someone who wrestles with doubt, or you love someone who does, I wrote a book just for you. It's called A Skeptic Challenges a Christian, an honest conversation about reasons to believe. The whole book is framed as a candid dialogue between a thoughtful skeptic and a Christian. We tackle questions like, does science explain everything? Is belief in God just wishful thinking? Why believe Jesus was divine and actually rose from the dead? I draw from science, philosophy, history, and personal experience to show why I find Christianity both rational and emotionally satisfying. Each chapter ends with reflection questions, so it's perfect for small groups, seekers, or Christians who still have questions but don't want shallow answers. If that sounds helpful, you can find A Skeptic Challenges a Christian on my website under Books. The link is in the description. If today's video stirred up a hunger to know Jesus more clearly, I'd love to point you to my book, Rediscover Jesus, Ancient Context, Modern Application. A lot of Christians would struggle to list even 10 things Jesus actually taught. In this book, I act as a kind of tour guide through the Gospels, using solid historical and biblical scholarship to help you hear Jesus the way his first century Jewish audience would have heard him. And then I show how those same teachings land in real life today. We walk through who God is, why we can trust the Gospels, what Jesus believed about himself, and what it truly means to love God and neighbor. It's written for skeptics, longtime believers, and anyone who wants a clearer, deeper picture of Jesus. To grab a copy of Rediscover Jesus, just head to my website and click on Books. The link is down in the description. If you're ready to move from just believing in Jesus to actually being formed by him, that's exactly why I created Matthew Tees Discipleship Formation. This is an 8-week workbook designed as a practical training manual for new and growing disciples. Each session combines biblical scholarship, historical context, reflection questions, and real-life application. We organize the journey around a simple pattern: know, do, be. Know what Jesus taught, practice it in daily life, and let the Spirit shape you into who he wants you to be. We cover things like knowing God, devotional reading, prayer, worship, emotional health, community and stewardship, disciple making. You can use it on your own, with a mentor, or in a small group or church setting. If you want a concrete path to grow as a disciple of Jesus, check out Matthew Tees Discipleship Formation on my website under Books. The link is in the description. Before you click away, I want you to know you don't have to walk through your struggles alone. I offer pastoral counseling and coaching for individuals and couples, drawing on over 20 years of experience in biblical studies and counseling-related work. I regularly walk with people through grief and loss, trauma and anxiety, marriage and family issues, sin struggles, addictions, faith questions, and general emotional and spiritual burnout. My goal is to provide a safe, compassionate space where you can tell the truth, process what's really going on, and receive practical biblical guidance. These sessions aren't clinical therapy, but they are Christ-centered, confidential conversations aimed at clarity, healing, and growth. If you're sensing it's time to get some help and move forward, click the pastoral counseling link in the description. There you'll see details, pricing, and how to book a session with me. If you'd like to partner with me in discipleship and help me keep creating resources like this one, please consider giving by clicking the donate link in the description below. Your support really does help more people see these videos and grow as disciples of Jesus.